Hey guys, so I know it's like really late. Obviously, I'm going to bed. I don't know, in my PJs and stuff, or I'm getting into bed. I'm not really falling asleep. Hopefully soon. But I did want to make this video really quick. Because I saw something while scrolling through Tumblr. It caught my attention, and I was just gonna like comment on it, like typing. But then I was like, this is too serious to just like type a comment about. I really should speak my mind. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the I mean, obviously some of you are posting it because I saw it about like that. I guess like some 9-year-old boy in the UK hung himself or hanged himself because he was bullied by some Asian kids at school. Um, and so I looked at the post and I was like, oh wow, that's sad. And then I looked at all the comments below, and I mean, I didn't have to go to these people's blogs to know that it was obviously like white people versus people of color or different races or whatever you want to say, having a conversation almost, and it all started out with like, see white people do experience racism, and then somebody who's obviously wasn't white like kind of threw a comment down below that, saying that isn't even racism, you don't even know what racism is, blah 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 blah. And it's like all of these comments, like it took up my entire like computer screen worth of different comments. Like I had to actually scroll down to read all of them. Um, all of these comments are probably like 6 or 7 lengthy, like in detail comments. Not a single one of them mentioned the fact that a 9-year-old solved his problems by killing himself. Like it was all about racism, which, okay, I get that racism is still an issue, obviously. I don't think it ever won't be, because people, there will always be, there will always be people in the world who see people who are different than them and just hate them for no reason, because some people just have messiah complexes and it sucks, but that's the way it goes. I think that the bigger issue is not the fact that the white kid experienced racism. I think that that's not the issue at all. I think that it's the fact that a 9-year-old felt that suicide was the solution. Like that, the fact that we, suicide, cutting, overeating, that that's no longer a problem, but a solution to a problem. Like, you have a bad day, how do you make it better? Oh, you just go kill yourself. Like today, one of the guys, he literally, his wife is divorcing him, so he drove to the town hall, which by the way is across the street from the elementary school, okay? He drove to the town hall, got out of his truck, and put a gun to his head. And just blew the trigger. Like, just this morning. It happened this morning. He just got out of his truck and killed himself. Not last week, but the week before, someone I knew was having a rough week, killed himself. Like, it's not even, it's like people don't even know how to solve problems anymore because the instant solution is just kill yourself or cut yourself or overeat or, and those aren't, you guys, those aren't rational solutions to problems. You're not helping your problem by doing any of that. In fact, you're only creating more problems. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one that sees this as an issue, that society thinks that these are like, okay, like, children, they're so innocent, and they they live their life through following other people, like they can't live on their own, they can't, like, you always like, there's always like that typical like thing where, and we've all done this, like I would come stomping downstairs in my mom's clothes because I wanted to be just like her, like her shoes were too big and her dress was too big, but I just wanted to be like her, and I was led by example. So for whatever reason, kids are now thinking that suicide is a reasonable solution to a problem. As they're learning 2 plus 2, they're also learning that suicide is a solution to a problem. That kid was led somewhere in his life. Somewhere in his young little life, he was told that suicide is the answer. Somehow that got to him. Because I'm going to tell you right now, 9-year-olds don't pull that kind of crap out of their butt because 9-year-olds can't even understand the concepts of life and death. Someone, somewhere, must have told him that, or he must have experienced that, or something. Because no 9-year-old child is going to pull suicide as a solution out of their butt. It's not. He was led there by society somehow. And I think that is the bigger problem. That, adults are using it as a solution And that only leads kids to follow us, Like I directed summer theater, and the kids they're always just trying to do what I do, and they'll come in the next day kind of trying to dress like I was dressing the day before, and like they they follow my example. And so if I were to come in one day with like slits on my wrist, all bandaged up and crap, you want to know what? They would go home and do it too, because they looked up to me as a role model. And if they see I'm doing it and they think I'm cool, then they're gonna think that that's cool. Like, I don't think, like, okay, you're doing it for whatever reason you're doing it. I understand people kill themselves. I understand people cut. I understand people don't make healthy choices. Like, I get it. Okay, I've made healthy and bad choices myself. I'm not saying I haven't. But you also have to think of how it affects other people. Like children. Seriously. Like, this world has taken such a downward spiral. Like, the obesity rates are through the roof. Through the roof. Suicide rates through the roof. Divorce rates through the roof. And why? Why? Sure, we can blame the government on everything, but you want to know what? Someone started a trend somewhere, because we've all learned by example. We can't all just point the finger at the government or at our parents or at the person sitting next to us. Oh, it's their fucking fault. They ruined my life. Okay? You can't. You have to hold yourself responsible for your actions. And if you, like that whole cut for Bieber shit, like, seriously? Kids have just as much access to technology nowadays as any adult. I'm gonna tell you, any 8-year-old is capable of accessing a porn site. They have just as much accessibility. They're not stupid. They're not technology illiterate. Like, they can do shit. And you think that, some 10-year-old's not gonna stumble across a picture of you cutting your wrists online? You're stupid. And you wanna know what they're gonna see that, and they're gonna say, oh, that's a cool 19-year-old doing something cool, because they're 19 and cool. And they're not even gonna think about it, because kids can't think like that. Kids can't think like that. They see and they do. That's it. Like, if you swear in front of your kid, that's it. You're done. The kid's not ever gonna not say that swear, Like, I know this one kid, he just always says shit because his mother said it one night. She didn't even think he was there. And she said it, and he overheard it. And it's just, that's what I thought the issue was. And maybe I'm the only one. Maybe the real issue still is racism. Even though I feel like it's not. I feel like the real issue nowadays is that we aren't even working to solve our problems. We don't even try. Like, if I had a bad day, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take some antidepressants and go to bed. Like, that's my attitude. Like, that's the general attitude of people. Like, no one sees a problem with that. That's not a solution. Like, the whole thing about like everyone being so disconnected from the world, it's not technology's fault. We're shutting ourselves out. We can't solve our own problems. That's not technology's fault. It's because we've adapted to accepting a cop-out, a scapegoat, as a solution. And when life gets tough, the cop-out and the scapegoat is to not live. I really wish people would think. I wish people would think, because I bet that, someone had to introduce that kid to suicide. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a 9-year-old can't make a noose and hang themselves. They can't. 9-year-olds don't know that stuff. I just ask that you guys be careful of what you do, and just, always think who might be watching. Okay? If you want to, like, do drugs and stuff like that, please don't put a video of it on YouTube. I know plenty of small children that use YouTube. Really little kids. And you want to know what? If that video gets popular, it's going to pop up the second they type in YouTube. Even if they're there to see a Dora the Explorer episode, your video is going to pop up and they're going to see it. I know you don't think that's going to happen, but that's what it does. I have random ass shit on my YouTube all the time that I've never seen, but it has a lot of views, so they're like suggesting it to me. It's just, Or if you talk about Dora in your video, that they're gonna connect that. They're gonna direct link that to when the kid types in Dora the Explorer, because everything is fucking direct linked to everything nowadays. Like hashtag everything and it's connected. You know? I mean, you gotta be careful what you put out there. Because people see. And yeah, people judge. But also people learn from that. And not in a good way. Like I said, if I were to come into some kids' summer theater one day with bandages all on my wrists, you know what? I can't even imagine one of the little like 5 or 6 year old girls going home and cutting themselves because they saw me doing it. That would make me feel horrible. Like that's really kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's selfish, really. I don't know. That was the problem I saw when I read that article. It had nothing to do with racism. I think racism that was in the 60s. It's never going to be 100% there. Like equality, it's never going to be 100% there because there's always going to be someone who hates. Always. The Ku Klux Klan, it's always going to be there. Westboro Baptist, always going to be there. You can't change those things. You can't change people, but you can change you and your actions in the way they affect other people, in the way that, you know, people view you. You're in charge of yourself. And because you're in charge of yourself, you're in charge of indirectly kind of the people around you, you know? I have, a bunch of the little girls from my summer theater always trying to add me on Facebook, even though I think that 8-year-olds shouldn't have a Facebook, but they do. If I posted some picture of me, like, with a beer bottle in my hand, like, twerking it out at a college party, like, just think sensibly, guys, please. Lead by example, Be the bigger person. Life sucks, but if you don't learn how to, like, make solutions, it's not gonna like killing yourself, cutting yourself, overeating, those aren't solutions. Undereating, that's not a solution. That's not a solution. That's just adding more to the problem. Solutions aren't easy, but they're worth it. So just take a minute, and before you like pick up a knife or pick up a noose or a cupcake or something, just like think about it for like 5 minutes, Like write down different possible solutions. Like just at least attempt to solve your problem before like completely destroying your life, which then destroys other people's lives. This 9-year-old kid's dead. Can you imagine how devastated his parents are? It's a problem. I think it's a problem, and I think you should think it's a problem. And I think together we should work to solve this problem with our heads. We're going to use logic and reasoning to solve this problem, not death. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. If you want, I can try to link the article to the video. I don't know if that's going to work. But I was just a little upset that everyone cared about the racism factor and no one cared that this 9-year-old kid rationalized suicide as a solution. That's not right. That's not cool. That needs to come to an end. I don't know if this made any sense, but this is just how I feel. So sometimes my feelings are a little confusing even to myself, but I hope it's made some sense. Not to mention I'm kind of tired, but yeah. So I was just a little frustrated with that, but I guess I'll go. All right. Bye.